Well, hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. It is Connor. We're back here with the Rumour Mill. We're back here with your Leeds United news. It's going to be a bit of an arduous international break, but we're here together, aren't we? Make sure you slap a like on the video. And everybody, today's episode is proudly sponsored, as you know, by IPM Group, a leading provider of comprehensive security and facilities management solutions across the UK. Whether it's advanced CCTV monitoring, top-tier commercial cleaning, or bespoke security systems and services, IPM Group delivers excellent and is committed to safeguarding businesses, stadiums, and communities with 24/7 support and state-of-the-art technology. Learn more about how the IPM Group can protect you at ipmgroupuk.com. Guys, you can check that out in the link in the description below. Listen, these are massive Leeds fans. Ellen Road. Listen, make sure you check in all that good stuff out. These are supporters of the channel, and they are helping the channel massively. Links in the description below as well. You lovely lot. We have a website, oneleeds.com. You want to check it out, make sure you do so, everybody. I know you'll enjoy it. Got articles on there as well if you just want to read through. I know some of you maybe aren't happy with certain publications and what they're putting out there. We don't have any adverts on ours. A lot of it is free to have a look at. You can go through, have a look, sieve through, and get your Leeds United fix as well as the videos. It's a one-stop Leeds United shop, so make sure you do so. Okay, let's get on to the latest Leeds United news today. And I wanted to start off, everybody, with the negotiations behind or should I say, Tanaka. Now, interestingly enough, there's been something reported by Build. There we go. This morning. And guys, I am playing five-a-side in about an hour's time. I'm just putting this on, for football. I'm not just wearing it for leisure, although it is a very nice shirt. The Germans do produce very good shirts. And so anyway, but Tanaka, the negotiation was something that we're all interested in, wasn't it? It was what on earth has happened there with Leeds United and how were we able to get that one over the line quite quickly, actually. Well, reports stated today that apparently Leeds went in initially with a 2.5 million euro bid, of which Dusseldorf turned around and said absolutely not. 11 months left on his contract. Leeds United went back in about apparently a week later, according to Build, and said, right, we can match that up. And yeah, Leeds were able to get him done for 3.4 million quid. Now, that's 4 million euros, everybody. And look, I'm not jumping the gun here. I'm really not jumping the gun. But my lord, my lord, I was so impressed with him at the weekend. I think he completed 92% of his passes. He attempted 22 passes at the weekend and was nothing short of phenomenal. I just wanted to give a little bit of a shrine to Tanaka, a little bit of a cameo, but the balance, the left and right foot, the angles he was creating in centre midfield. You guys know centre midfield is just something that I focus on very, very specifically. It's because I used to play there. I keep telling you this all the time. And a really good centre midfielder runs the show. A player with a brain, a football IQ, but technical ability, really good balance, good left foot, strong right foot as well. And Tanaka just looked good. Yeah, I think Rothwell's got a lot of that, but maybe Tanaka. I mean, this is a guy who was compared to Bellingham. This is a guy who's compared to Bellingham not long ago by the Bundesliga press. So I'm not saying he's going to reach those heights. He has got 11 months left on his contract, but according to a report today by Bill, Dusseldorf were very, very unhappy and surprised by Leeds United's bid. Leeds United coming in for him for a second time. Dusseldorf were under the sort of almost conclusion, the final, the finalities it should be of the understanding that they were going to keep hold of Tanaka. Apparently, there were even discussions. Leeds came in with a later bid, and there we go. So lovely, lovely stuff when it comes to Leeds being able to get this deal done. Lovely, lovely stuff when it also makes you think to yourself, Leeds have done this in a really sort of good fashion. There was a lot of discussion, a lot of talk, everybody behind the scenes about Josh Brownhill. I know you'll probably laugh at that one, but apparently Leeds were interested, very interested, from what I understand anyway, of getting him on loan. That didn't happen, and it was between him, Josh Brownhill, believe that or not, and Tanaka, apparently, in terms of what Leeds were looking at toward the back end of the window. So there you go. But Tanaka, I am much happier over than Josh Brownhill. A lot of it is, look, I like Brownhill, but I think a lot of it was Tanaka is we just don't know what we're going to get with him. And I just think his grace, his elegance on the ball, you can tell a player, and he, for me, is an absolute player. So yeah, really, really good news that Leeds obviously went in with that negotiation stumper, and we managed to get our man who looked pretty good at the weekend. weekend. Killian's in the building. Killian, best name in the stream so far, my friend. Good evening, Connor from Galway. Great content as always. Killian, I might be coming to Galway soon. I fancy it, mate. I just fancy it. Can I afford it? No, I can't afford it. Killian might be leaning on you for that one, mate. But no, my friend, I'm thinking we've got a weekend free. Could I could I turn Galway yellow, white, and blue? Who knows? Go away, Paul Davenport. Don't know what Marcus is going on about there, but shout out to you, mate. More Irish in the building. Brian's in the building. How you, mate? How's it going from Dublin? Makes you wonder why nobody else went in for him. Went in for him earlier at that price when you're talking about Tanaka, 100%, mate, 100%. Gail's also said as well, just think the squad's a lot better now. Steve said he could be the crown in the jewel. You can just tell, can't you, Steve, with a baller, with a player. You just look at him, and as I keep saying, with that central midfield space, the balance. Yeah, I just love it. I love it. I love what I saw and just how calm he was and always wants the ball. Always wants the ball. Key cog in it. And me and Joe were speaking about this earlier on the counterpoint. Everyone, if you're interested in doing and having a look at that one. So yeah, the squad does feel a little bit more balanced. And that moves me on to my next topic of conversation, everybody. And we're going to get into the news in a little bit, but I think it's quite nice to delve and to discuss and to debate over a game at the weekend, over a Hull City side who packed a punch. I thought they packed a punch. I thought Miller was a decent player. I thought, is it Bidi? I thought he looked good as well. Strong, physical, gave Road on a few nightmares. But overall, I wanted to hear what you guys think on the starting 11 now. So my starting 11 now is something that I think Daniel Farke will go with. And all of you let me know in the comment section below exactly what you do here. So I think this is what he's going to go with. I think we're going to see Eli Melee in there. I think we're going to see Bogle. I think we're going to see Rodon, Strauk, and Firpo. And this is what we're going to see going forward. I think we're going to see Tanaka and Ampadu. The reason behind that is because I think he's going to be under the impression that Tanaka gives us maybe a little bit more than what Gruev gives us, even though Gruev has, in all fairness to him, and you did see it at the weekend, he's getting a forward a little bit more. But I think Tanaka just gives you that level of composure, maybe that Gruev doesn't. I get that Gruev's tough in the tackle, but overall, I do think the Japanese maestro will be in there again. It's key to know, his caliber's for all to see. Not only has he been compared to Bellingham very, very recently by a Bundesliga site, but he's also, he's also in the Japanese national setup, which is a very, very, very good standard. So I think he'll go Nonto on the right. I genuinely believe Nonto and Aronson are going to interchange. I think he likes Aronson a lot. So I think we're going to see Aronson dead central. And I actually think you're going to see Mano Solomon on the left and Joseph up top. So I think there's going to be a bit of an omission when you're looking at someone like Ramazani, which is crazy, really, when you look at what he was doing at Almeria. He's playing week in, week out at La Liga level. I genuinely believe that's what Daniel Farke will go for. And I think we're going to see the strength in depth have to play out with this Leeds United side, because there's going to be points of which you need a Ramazan. There's going to be points of which you're going to need a Yol Peru. There's going to be points of which you need maybe a Gruev or a Rothwell. But you look at the stark quality of that bench, everybody. And Leeds United are in a very, 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 very stable and strong state there. And Mr. Farke has got a very decent squad with him right now. Very, very decent squad. Killian says, you'd be more than welcome, mate. Hopefully you make the journey soon. Thinking about it, mate. Thinking about it. Evening, Connor and all. Hey, Steve. Matteo Gasparotti is in the building. Killian, I think your best name has been stolen off you right there, mate. Night, Connor from Perth, WA. Can't bloody sleep. So listening in now. Matteo, I know the feeling, mate. Not sleeping. It's just horrible, isn't it, mate? So we just get those earphones in, try drift off with my dulcet Yorkshire tones. How about that, lad? Just make sure you don't keep me on the screen, because this hair might make it bright in your room. JC says, I'm really excited to see Tanaka can offer us in the midfield. Look great in his cameo. He did indeed, mate. Did indeed. So yeah, Tanaka gives us something a little bit different anyway. But I genuinely believe you're going to see, as Yeboah says, Tanaka 27 goals and 27 caps and 8 goals for Japan. This really could be one of our best signings, I think. Yeah, and as Badros has just said, there are different options for different states. But guys, what I wanted to say as well is thank you so much for your donations as well. Have to say this, didn't say it at the start. We're going to be running a giveaway on the channel as well, which I think is really, really key to know, because I want to do this for you guys as well. It's not just going to be about you coming on here and giving these donations and helping me out in that respect. We've got loads of stuff coming back as well. And I just wanted to say as well, Back Four, who we clip with when it comes to merchandise, is running a promotion ending on October the 17th, celebrating Leeds United's founding date. If you bought any Back Four merch, which is what we always advertise on the channel, post a photo with it, tag Back Four and One Leeds with the chance to win. You'll get a 20% off code with your next purchase, everybody. Plus, on October 17th, one lucky person will win a free item of their choice from the Back Four site. Get involved by posting and tagging support the channel and get the deal. So all you need to do there, everybody, is exactly what it says on the tin. I'll put that in the description below as well, but pretty self-explanatory, and you can get involved in the first Back Four and One Leeds sort of giveaway, if you want to call it that, of the campaign. Okay, so you're probably all wondering what is going on with Burnley, Connor. Why is there a Parker problem? So Burnley have got a fair few players out at this moment in time, and there's been another two which potentially will not be playing against Leeds United on the returning day, obviously when Leeds United play Burnley on September 14th at Ellen Road. Burnley have two injury concerns ahead of their forthcoming trip with Leeds United. Centre-back Maxime Steve, obviously, who's seen as one of their better players, and forward Manuel Benson, strongly linked with Leeds United, of course. Now, what I thought was pretty stark as well was the amount of players that they've got out as well. Jordan Bayer, De Croo, Ekdal, Aaron Ramsey, Adji, Mike Trezor and Nathan Redmond. So they have got a hell of a lot of injuries really there when you look at Burnley, and when you look at the comparative with Leeds United and how many players we've got out, which is James and Bamford. James is said to be back after the international break as well, which is going to be advantageous for the Whites. Just another option there. But where does James now fit in this, everybody? You know what I mean? We've not even touched on that. We've not even touched on that. Paul, again here, mate, with another 5-1 Leeds fan channel memberships. Thank you so much, man. Thank you all of you for your wonderful donations. You're all so supportive, and I really I can't say thank you enough, basically. So Righty still think Solomon and Ramazani will start. Interesting. A big slack on the likes, says Grumpy C. Guys, there's over 900 of you in the building. Let's rack those likes up. Come on. Max says, Ramazani looked really good to me. Had a few touches and every one of them was clean and usually a touch pass. Loved his speed and directness. Ryan says, Machine Gun Kelly. Have you had that one yet, mate? No, I haven't, mate. That's the next one. That's the next one. Machine Gun Kelly. Although that guy is an interesting person, isn't he? A very interesting one. Okay, next thing, everybody, that I wanted to talk about is Manor Solomon. So he's going away with his country over the international break, it looks like, according to the YEP. And he said today that it's been a long time since I had an official game, reflecting on the game at the weekend. I'll need to think basically he needs to take some time to get to his best because he's had a tough season, as everyone knows, with his injury, which we've spoken about on the channel several times. Now we're going into the break, and I'm looking forward to playing with the national team and to come back and to continue where we stop now, Leeds United fans. What don't we want to see here? Manor, please do not get injured. Now, we spoke about Manor Solomon at the weekend, and I want to know what you guys thought. Obviously, just seeing what Gail said there, and I agree with that. Remy Ravanelli, I'll take all day, mate. Alistair Darling's a good one. But yeah, Solomon did do really well. And what's interesting is the tactics were clearly led towards that. And what I will say is, after watching it back, which I have done 2 or 3 times, I extended highlights twice, and then the actual full game back today, which I managed to do in a bit of downtime whilst I was writing a few bits and bats for the website. You could see what Leeds were doing. And it's been highlighted on Twitter. It's been highlighted on Instagram. Those inverted players, the 3 AMs, Nonso, Aronson, and Solomon, and how well they played in between the fullback and the centre backs, and just occupied those positions between the centre backs and the centre back and the opposing side as well. So right back and the centre back, left back. They were just continuously operating in those positions. Now, what that means as well is it frees Joseph up to maybe drop back, to maybe cut inside. And that is what the 3 attacking midfielders will get you. It means that Leeds are absolutely flying forward, everybody. And we're going to score a lot of goals this season because there's not that much protection. And we were mentioning this earlier on the channel. The fullbacks are playing as right wingers, a literal advanced right winger and a left winger. That is how we're playing right now. And we are flying forward. There was points when Leeds were going forward in the first 10 minutes. We had about 7, 8 players in the box. When the attack will break down or whatever, but it just gives you options in there. And I like it at this level because I think we've got enough quality to be able to dispose of teams, which is always going to be preferential and beneficial to your side. So yeah, really happy with Solomon, and what we just don't want to happen, obviously, is for more injuries to come in. For more injuries to come in when it comes to our players, and hopefully, Manor Solomon will be wrapped in cotton wool. But he is the one who I'm looking at because of just the seriousness. I wish Leeds could just turn around and say, "You're not going away." I wish we had that power, the Ferguson power of which we just say he was injured, but it doesn't seem like that's how football works anymore. Don't forget to hit the likes and subscribe. Shout out to you, Paul. How are you doing, mate? Yeah, let me know. Paul says, hello, Connor. Very disappointed in the 49ers. Not spending to the limit like they said they would. Interesting, Paul. Yeah, interesting, man. How are you thinking? Were you happy with the weekend, Paul? Could you see what you were, almost like investing in as a fan there? I think what we have got to say about the weekend is we're going to be coming up against a much tougher task against Burnley. It's going to be much tougher. Hull, I think they're decent. I'm not sure they're going to be as decent as last season. Obviously Jaden Philogene, Jacob Greaves, a lot of really, really good players moving on. I don't think they're going to be as well balanced. I think Liam Miller's a good addition, but I do wonder about the firepower up top. So yeah, I think Hull will be there or thereabouts, but I'm not sure they'll be cracking the playoffs. So that's the sort of standard that we're coming up against. When we come up against the Burnley, you are still talking about Burnley finishing in the top two, potentially winning the league. So we have to be very careful there. And I think you're going to see the level of some of these players against a good Burnley side. If we've been brutally honest, it's not going to be easy whatsoever. And you do wonder, a Leeds going to be, would you be upset with a draw there against a demoted side? I guess if you're a Leeds United fan right now, you've got to be looking at that and thinking, all 3 points. All 3 points for me. After last international break, Leeds season fell apart. Let's hope that's not the case this way around. It does feel like that, mate, doesn't it? It feels like these international breaks really have a massive say on Leeds' seasons. They're never sort of like a easy sort of license for the Leeds than to do okay. So another thing that's quite interesting on the news circuit right now, Max Verber, obviously we know he's not been included at the weekend, and he was apparently happy, according to reports, of being transferred to Borussia Mönchengladbach. That didn't materialise, but there's another pawn in this puzzle. I said puzzle. Liam Cooper. Okay, so the talks were held with Cooper over a White's extension this summer, but no deal was reached as the two sides had different priorities for personal terms. That is probably Leeds United potentially offering 1 year, where other clubs are offering 2, 3, potentially even 4. Obviously, he's beyond 30, isn't he? Derby and Blackburn were also linked, and apparently, according to several sources, it didn't happen with Derby. Now, we know Cooper's respected, so would it be a shock for you guys if Cooper was to maybe sign for Leeds United and sign that dotted line and maybe think to himself, you know what, if they've offered me a contract, I'll come back for a year? And would it be in Leeds' best interest with potentially Max Verber heading out in January? I think Verber, this is going to continue to increase when it comes to Max Verber. The only reason I'm saying that, and I'm not saying it to create hysteria or propaganda or anything like that, I genuinely believe that he's going to want to play first-team football, and he played first-team football all last season at a higher level than what he's playing now. Is he going to be happy with sitting on the bench? I would say no. So if he's not happy with sitting on the bench, you kind of need a left-sided centre-back to be able to come in and at least cover what you've got with Pascal Struijk. Let's revert back to 5 years ago under Marcelo Bielsa, and potentially that could be Liam Cooper. That is the easiest option, really, isn't it? And I do wonder how this is going to play out. I wonder how this is going to play out, because Leeds could strategically do this in a reasonably decent way. My worry is obviously Verber kind of might hold the cards in January. Well, Leeds hold the cards. They've apparently been demanding 16.8 million for Verber's services on a permanent deal, which I think is fantastic from the club. And I admire their diligence and stubbornness with it, because he is our player. He's contracted to the club. You don't just get to go because you want to go, Maximilian. But what I will say is, I would much rather Verber be here than Liam Cooper. Look, I'm not saying that on a personality stance. I don't know each player, but from what you hear, and what we've seen with Verber, he's it seems quite easy for him to drop the hat and move on. Whereas with Liam Cooper, he's a custodian pretty much of the football club, isn't he? But I think the players' levels are on different levels, literally. So maybe that's something to consider, really, when you look at the when you look at the change of the squad, which I think might happen. But I'd be interested to hear what you guys think on that one. Okay, and as we've said, everyone, the starting 11 is going to be very, very interesting getting into that final bit. So let's get into a few of your comments. Spartan Hippie says, "Hi Connor, Burnley will be a good indicator for this squad, and if a number 10 was required. But remember, our new players will only get better as the team learns to play with each other's strengths." And you're right there, Spartan. I think you bang on, mate. And It might be too early. The Burnley game might be too early. Burnley are going to bring a very decent team. I'll tell you what, let's see their team against Blackburn. So it was Burnley won, wasn't it? Blackburn won. So let's have a quick look at the team and let's maybe look at a few comparatives. And Blackburn have had a really decent start, haven't they? They've scored a lot of goals. So let's have a quick look at that. Lyle Foster, obviously, they managed to keep hold of, which I think is massive for Burnley. But, you know, we have a little comparison with these squads, and they've got a good side, Burnley. They've got a very, very decent side. You know, you look at that starting 11. Steve obviously had to come off with an injury. But, you know, Kalosho, I believe, was linked to Wolverhampton Wanderers. That didn't come off, but they've got Connor Roberts there, of which we're all very, very well aware of. Joe Worrell, Steve, who might not be there anymore. Robert Perez, joking for you OGs. Laurent, who I believe was at Stoke City, wasn't he? Josh Laurent in the middle there. Brownhill, of course, Colosio, Medjbury on loan from Manchester United, Hannibal there. Jayden Anthony, who, look, not amazing, not worth 10 million quid, but let's not underestimate how good he was at phases at Leeds United. Didn't really get given the chance, but let's have a quick look at the bench here. I think this is interesting. And here we go. Sarmiento, Jay Rodriguez, Manuel Benson. Benson is a doubt for this one. You got Kladky, obviously, who's the Ipswich keeper last season. Masengo, previously at Bristol City. Bashir Humphreys, who Leeds United were in for as well, from Chelsea. But I do look at this bench and I think those three can make a bit of an impact. Don't get me wrong. I feel like this was a bit of an obvious one with what happened with him and Ipswich last season. Rodriguez, I'm not really scared by that, to be honest with you. Benson, I think it's a good option off the bench. But I don't think there are many world beaters on that bench. I really don't. And you don't get that on a bench, do you? But look at that starting 11. It's a good championship 11, of course it is, but I still think it can be got at. It really still, for me, it can be got at. It's not, that team is not as good, in my opinion, as the team that got them up. It's not. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see this. Richard said, Aronson left, Tanaka 10, James Wright, interesting. Do you rate our squad as the best in the league, says Paul? Do you know what, mate? When you look at it, I think I said this morning, but when you're looking at squad, I think Burnley, when they've got a few of their bodies back, will look strong. But squad, Leeds have got to be up there. They've really got to be up there, Leeds United. And you guys know I'm not like an overly biased, sentimental Leeds fan. But from an objective, it's got to be up there. You know, you look at Rothwell, you look at potentially Tanaka, you know, Joel Peru, still beefed up, isn't it? Max Ferber. There's a lot on that bench. You know, Ramazani, a hell of a lot on that bench, of which, you know, as a Leeds fan, you've got to look at and think, yeah, there's quality to replace in many areas there, which the club will have been looking at. Dan James, another one. Pat Bamford, yeah, okay, but he will still be there. So I think, in answer to your question, mate, I think there's definitely a conversation to be had there. Definitely. Schmidt as well, another one. So there is a lot for him to choose on there, a hell of a lot. Stevie says, apart from Brownhill and the keeper, rest wouldn't make our team. And I'd agree. I think it's a bang average squad, of which at this level is a good squad. We know that at this level. But Leeds can do something there. I think there's an argument with Leeds and Sheffield United for the best starting 11. The best squad, I think it's probably between us and Burnley, I'd say. I think Luton have still got a decent squad, by the way. I just don't think Rob Edwards is getting the best out of them. Listen, also keep an eye on that one. Keep an eye on that one in terms of the first managerial sacking. I wouldn't be surprised. Guys, I'm going to leave it there anyway. I don't want to waffle on too much, but make sure you check out the Counterpoint. There's over 1,200 of you in the building across all platforms. Please leave a like on the video. We're going to be back tomorrow morning, as always, with your Leeds United news. And then we'll probably do something in the evening as well. Oh, yeah, that's it, the debrief. The debrief is back tomorrow, everybody, where we're going to be talking everything. Please get all your thoughts. I want to see all of you on the debrief tomorrow, 7 p.m. Guys, head on over to the website, oneleeds.com. You can get, it's a one-stop shop for everything Leeds United. We're going to be adding stats there, previews, all this sort of stuff. We've got articles, we've got free articles, we've got Patreon articles. And yeah, it's a good vibe over there, everybody. So make sure you check that out. And we're trying to make this into a bigger thing. YouTube, fantastic, love it. But let's make this into an even bigger thing. But an absolute pleasure to see you all in the building this evening, I should say. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and get your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll see you on the other side. Cheers.